Thanks for joining us for this edition of the Asia Business Report on BBC World News. I'm Rico Hizon. Trade ministers gathering in the Indonesian island of Bali are into their second day of tough negotiations. The result could be a deal that revives global trade talks or the end of multilateral trading system. Leaders have been pleading for flexibility from members in order to strike a deal, but India is one country that may not be prepared to do so. And its officials are said to be insisting on maintaining its food subsidy program at all costs. For more, let's cross over now to Bali, and we're speaking now with Pradeep Mehta, who leads a consumer group in India and has been an advisor to the World Trade Organization. Mr. Mehta, thank you so much for joining us on BBC World News. Do you think India's position on maintaining its food subsidy program at all costs could be the deal breaker, whether or not the WTO agrees on a deal?
I'm not so sure whether that would be the deal breaker, because perhaps India is being made a scapegoat in these negotiations. The food subsidy actually may not violate the agreement on agriculture. And if the government of India has put forward its position, it's because it is a little ambiguous whether the food procurement subsidy would actually violate the agreement on agriculture.
So why do you think is India being used as a scapegoat?
Well, the fact is that the proposal itself was opposed very strongly by the US and the European Union. And if you look at the global trade scene, is the US interested in a multilateral trade accord? I mean, that is a fundamental question. They're already getting into so many mega regionals. So they've lost appetite for the World Trade Organization, and that could be then perhaps the reason why any deal happening here at Bali seems to be suspect.
Do you think that India is willing to meet halfway with the other 158 countries to be able to come forward with a deal in these Bali meetings?
I'm sure. I mean, India realizes the value of the multilateral system and would try and make its best. Let's not forget that there is a general election due in India, and the issue of food is an extremely sensitive and emotional issue. And therefore, what the minister is going to do here will actually involve tightrope walking.
All right. If you think that India is willing to meet halfway, do you think that at the end of these 4-day talks in Bali, a deal will be forged?
I'm not so sure if even India was ready and willing to meet halfway. Would a deal be forged, for the reasons as I explained to you, that the problems lie outside Bali. I mean, they're already there as a part of the historical baggage of the WTO. If you look at the July 2008 breakdown, that was the last breakdown, it was more on cotton subsidies and the US unwillingness to help the poor West African nations. And they then made India and China the scapegoat.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Pradeep Mehta joining us from Bali, Indonesia at the WTO meetings.